I was like, wait, I can only fit like 10 panties on here. What is he talking about? He knew I was coming with some bags and stuff because I was there for 6 weeks.
When I was in Connecticut, she was like, you want to come over or can I come over? I was obviously doing some motivation.
Of all the men who have ever entered the Darcey Silva universe, none has been more iconic, more controversial, more hated, more endlessly debated than the very first one. The Dutch personal trainer with the cold blue eyes and the colder personality. The man who, on the first ever season of 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days, set the tone for everything Darcey would suffer for the next decade. The man who broke her down. The man who criticized her body. The man who got into a screaming match with her at a steak dinner in her own Connecticut house. The man who later flew across the Atlantic Ocean just to dump her in person in Manhattan, on camera, so the whole world could watch. His name, of course, is Jesse Meester. And tonight, on the Tell-All Tapes, we are doing the documentary you have been waiting years for. Welcome back, fans. You are watching the only channel that does the deepest dives in the entire franchise. Tonight, we are putting the spotlight on the most famous ex-boyfriend in the history of 90 Day Fiancé. We are tracing his journey from Amsterdam to Connecticut to New York to Colombia and back. We are unpacking the steak dinner that became a meme. We are unpacking his alleged attempt to crawl back to Darcey after the breakup. We are unpacking the entire Jeniffer Tarazona chapter. We are unpacking the shocking baby announcement with a mystery woman named Marian. We are unpacking the new son named Zeus. And we are finally answering the question that fans have argued about for years. Was Jesse Meester ever really in love with Darcey Silva? Or was the entire thing a performance, from the very first DM all the way to the end? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand the Jesse Meester story in a way the franchise has never properly told it. Let's go all the way back to 2015, 2016, when a man named Jesse Meester, working as a personal trainer in Amsterdam, signed up for a networking app called Inner Circle. According to his own appearance on the Reality Life with Kate Casey podcast, Jesse said he was using the app to find potential customers for his personal trainer business. Customers, not a girlfriend, not a soulmate. Customers. That was the energy he brought to that app. Around the same time, a woman in Connecticut, a single mom in her early 40s named Darcey Silva, who had recently divorced her husband Frank Bollock, was using the same app to find love. Their paths crossed online. They started messaging. The connection went from professional to personal fast. Darcey, by her own admission, fell hard. Jesse, by all available evidence, was intrigued, but never as emotionally invested as she was. By the time the two of them agreed to film their first in-person meeting for 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 Days Season 1, Darcey was already in deep. She flew to Amsterdam. She was nervous. She was excited. She was hopeful in the way that only a woman who has been hurt by a marriage and is daring to love again can be. And from the very first scene, fans noticed something off. Jesse was reserved. Jesse was critical. Jesse was constantly looking at Darcey like he was inspecting a product, not greeting his soulmate. The age gap between them was the smallest of their issues. The bigger issue was that Jesse, for whatever reason, brought a critical, judgmental, condescending energy to almost every interaction with the woman who said she loved him. Season 1 of Before the 90 Days was filled with red flags. Jesse made comments about Darcey's body. Jesse made comments about her clothes. Jesse made comments about her drinking. On the Kate Casey podcast, Jesse later admitted that he had complained about Darcey's drinking. He also pushed back on the idea that he had body-shamed her, saying he had not outright attacked her weight, but had commented on her appearance and working out. Fans, look. There is a difference between being a fitness-conscious boyfriend and being a man who picks at his girlfriend's body for sport. Most viewers who watched those scenes concluded that Jesse fell into the second category. And by the time Darcey came back for Season 2, she was different. She had lost weight. She had trained harder. She had remade her body in an attempt to win him back. And what did Jesse do? He flew to New York City and broke up with her, in person, on camera, in a way that fans still describe as one of the coldest breakups in reality TV history. The breakup happened at a restaurant. Darcey, characteristically, had packed an overnight bag because she had not actually believed the breakup was real. She thought maybe, just maybe, they could fix things. Jesse, characteristically, did not flinch. He delivered his ending. He walked away. He went back to Amsterdam, and Darcey was left to pick up the pieces in front of an audience of millions. But here is the part that fans absolutely love to remember. There was a moment between Season 1 and the Season 2 breakup when Jessie came to America to visit Darcey at her home in Middletown, Connecticut. They rented an Airbnb. They tried to play house, and Jessie met Darcey's daughters, Aniko and Aspen Ballock. The night of the meeting, Darcey tried to cook a steak dinner with Jessie. Within minutes, the two of them were fighting. Darcey demanded that Jessie cut the steak on a bias. Jessie refused. The argument escalated. And then, in one of the most iconic moments in 90 Day Fiancé history, Darcey's daughter Aniko looked up from the table and said, "Are y'all serious? Both of you guys are acting like you're my age. Grow up." The entire internet exploded. The line went viral, and Aniko Ballock, just a teenager, became a hero overnight for saying what every viewer at home had been screaming at the screen. That steak dinner, fans, became the symbol of the entire Jessie-Darcey relationship. Two people fighting over the most trivial thing imaginable, while the real problems quietly grew bigger every day. That was Jessie and Darcey in a single scene. Mismatched, combative, petty, sad, iconic. After their final breakup, Darcey moved on to Tom Brooks, and Jessie, true to form, started looking for his next reality TV opportunity. He eventually landed on 90 Day The Single Life Season 2, where he started dating Jeniffer Tarazona, a Colombian woman who had previously been engaged to another 90 Day Fiancé cast member named Tim Malcolm. Jeniffer had sent Jessie a DM. According to her, it took him about a year to respond. But eventually he did. He flew to Colombia. They started dating, and they began appearing together on the franchise. The Jessie and Jeniffer chapter became its own controversy. Fans were divided. Some thought they made sense as a couple, both being a little vain, a little controlled, a little hungry for the spotlight. Others thought it was all manufactured for camera time. Darcey herself weighed in. On the Reality Gaze with Matt Maher and Jake Anthony podcast, in February 2022, Darcey said that Jessie and Jeniffer, quote, both want to be influencers. She said they had what she called a control mindset for themselves and for each other. She added, quote, she wants what he has, and he wants what she has. Darcey, with the wisdom of a woman who had loved Jessie and known him intimately, basically called Jessie and Jennifer's relationship a transaction wrapped in a romance. And honestly, she nailed it. Now here is where things get especially juicy. Darcey, on multiple occasions, claimed that Jessie tried to reach back out to her between the time their relationship ended and the time she started dating Tom Brooks. Yes, fans. According to Darcey, after Jessie had publicly humiliated her, after he had flown to New York to break up with her, after he had moved on, Jesse Meester actually tried to reconnect with Darcey, tried to crawl back, as the fans like to say. Why would a man who had been so quick to dump a woman try to come back? Lots of theories. Maybe Jessie genuinely missed her. Maybe Jessie was processing his own emotions and realized he had not handled things well. Maybe Jessie saw Darcey doing well with Tom and wanted to interrupt that. Maybe Jessie wanted more screen time. Maybe Jessie wanted relevance. Maybe Jessie missed the spotlight that came with being Darcey's boyfriend. We don't know. What we do know is that Darcey, by her own statement, was wise enough to say no. She told various outlets that she had recognized their relationship as toxic and had moved forward. That, fans, is the growth nobody gives Darcey credit for. The woman who packed an overnight bag for the Manhattan breakup with Tom is the same woman who turned down Jessie's attempts to reconcile. That is not a woman who can't learn. That is a woman who actively chose to learn, slowly, painfully, but meaningfully. And then came the Georgi twist. In an absolutely jaw-dropping moment, Darcey publicly slammed her then-fiancé Georgi Rusev for reaching out to Jesse Meester behind her back. That's right. Georgi, the Bulgarian masseur who was supposed to be the next great love of Darcey's life, apparently messaged her toxic ex, Jesse Meester. The reason has never been fully explained. Some fans think Georgi was trying to apologize. Some fans think Georgi was trying to make peace. Some fans, the more cynical ones, think Georgi was trying to make sense of Darcey by talking to the man who knew her on camera first. Whatever the reason, Darcey was livid. She publicly called Georgi out for contacting her toxic ex. And on a 90 Day Bears All preview, Darcey actually went on camera to confront Jesse directly about it. In that same Bare as All clip, Jesse, smiling, told the host Sean Robinson that he was now seeing the beautiful Jeniffer from Colombia. He talked about how they had flown to meet in person. He said that he had no grudges with Darcey. He even complimented her. Quote, "I think Darcey is beautiful in her own way. I'm very happy with her new look. I hope you are in a good place. I have no grudges, no hard feelings. Read that, fans. The man who berated her on camera, who flew across the ocean to dump her, who criticized her body, was now smiling and saying he was happy with her new look. Some fans took it as growth. Some fans took it as smug condescension. Some fans took it as Jesse being Jesse, always playing the angles, always saying the right thing in front of cameras while doing whatever he wanted off camera. The Jesse and Jeniffer relationship eventually fell apart. Recent social media posts indicate they split despite teasing on a tell-all that they might have a baby together. And then came the bombshell that fans absolutely did not see coming. Jesse Meester, in a quiet but seismic announcement, revealed that he had moved on from Jeniffer entirely. He had a new girlfriend. Her name, according to fan-circulated reports, is Marian. She is not a 90 Day Fiancé cast member. She is, by all accounts, away from the reality TV scene. And here is the kicker. Jesse and Marian have a son named Zeus. Zeus, fans, as in the king of the gods, as in the Greek god of thunder, as in the most dramatic baby name choice imaginable for a man who has spent his entire reality TV career being dramatic. Jesse is now a father. He is focused on building a new family. He is, by every indication, moving away from the reality TV scene that made him famous. And honestly, good for him. Whatever you think of Jesse Meester as a man and as a partner to Darcey, becoming a father changes people. Maybe Jesse is genuinely different now. Maybe Zeus is the thing that finally softens him. Maybe the days of toxic on-camera fights and ego-driven breakups are behind him. We will see. The franchise will keep watching. But here is what I want fans to really sit with tonight, because I think the Jesse Meester story is bigger than just Jesse Meester. Jesse was, in many ways, the prototype. He was the first foreign love interest in Darcey's franchise journey. He set the template. Younger man. Foreign. Critical. Initially charming. Eventually toxic. Tom Brooks fit the template. Georgi fit a slightly evolved version of it. Even Florian Sucaj for Stacey has fit a version of it. The men who came after Jesse, fans, were variations on the Jesse pattern. Younger, from elsewhere, promising on the outside, complicated on the inside. Loved Darcey or Stacey at first sight, supposedly, but then revealed themselves over time. That is the pattern that defined a decade of Silva twin romance, and Jesse Meester started it. He was the first heartbreaker. He was the first man to teach Darcey that the bar in international dating was actually on the floor. He was the first man to make her cry on camera. He was the first man to make her doubt herself in front of millions. Every man who has followed has had to live, whether they realized it or not, in the long shadow of Jesse Meester. So in a strange way, Jesse is more important to the Silva story than he gets credit for. He was the wound that never fully closed. He was the template. He was the lesson. Now, where does that leave us in 2026? Darcey, struggling in her marriage with Georgi. Jesse, a father in some quiet corner of the world, raising a baby boy named Zeus with a woman the cameras don't know much about. Both of them, in different ways, are 40-something parents trying to figure out the rest of their lives. The franchise is mostly done with Jesse. The franchise is still very much in love with Darcey. And in some final, almost poetic twist, the man who used to mock Darcey for being too emotional, too eager, too desperate for love, is now the man building a quiet family life away from the spotlight, while the woman he tried to break is still the queen of the entire franchise. Karma, fans, does not always work, but sometimes, just sometimes, it shows up wearing a beautiful black designer dress at a 50th birthday party, smiling into a camera, looking better than she ever has, while the man who used to make her cry is somewhere far away, changing diapers and learning humility. Whether that is the actual reality of Jesse Meester's current life or not, we may never know. But it is, at the very least, a satisfying poetic version of it. So tell me, fans, in the comments below, was Jesse Meester the worst man in 90 Day Fiancé history? Or are there worse ones I am forgetting? Do you believe Jesse really tried to crawl back to Darcey after their breakup? Or do you think Darcey was making that up to feel better? Why do you think Jesse left Jeniffer Tarazona for Marian, a woman the public knows almost nothing about? And here is the big one. If Jesse Meester walked up to Darcey Silva today, in 2026, with Zeus in his arms and a real apology in his heart, do you think Darcey would forgive him? Could anybody, after everything that happened, ever truly forgive Jesse? Or do some wounds just stay open forever? Tell me where you stand. And if Jesse Meester is the biggest red flag in 90-Day Fiancé history for you, drop a red flag emoji in the comments. Let's flood the comments with red flags. For Darcey. For every woman who has ever loved a Jesse. For every time we should have walked away sooner. If this hit you somewhere honest, smash that like button. Subscribe to the Tell-All Tapes for new 90-Day Fiancé documentaries every single week. Share this with the friend who has been arguing about Jesse with you since 2017. They need to see this. This was the Tell-All Tapes, and we will see you in the next one.